And welcome to In Between Sets podcast. I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Abigail.
This is episode 2. We did episode 1. It was released on Wednesday.
Can you believe it?
I was really excited.
I know, me too.
Mainly just because we finally did it. I was like, oh, this is real. Okay.
Yeah, when you talk about something for 2 years and you finally do it, it's like probably nobody's as excited as we are.
Yeah, no, that's why I was like, I'm so proud of us, like crying a little tear. Like,
we get no listens and we're like,
it's great, we did it. That's kind of like the nice thing about it, though, is like, I don't really care if anyone listens. Like I said in my post yesterday, mainly because we wanted to is why we're doing this.
Don't worry, I'm our biggest fan.
Yeah, don't worry, you don't have to be a fan.
And my mom.
Yeah, and our moms. My mom called me and she was like, your mama and I are listening on our drive. She's going to get her hair done and her nails done. We're taking her, blah, blah, blah. You guys are just so cute. You and Abigail are so cute. And I was like,
my mom goes, it's like I'm sitting in the room with you.
One of my clients, and she said it was like, man, I felt like I was on FaceTime with you guys. It was great. And I was like, that's what we want.
Exactly.
We just want you guys to feel like you're on FaceTime with us. We're going to start the episode off by just kind of, we want you to take you guys along with us in our lives. Yeah. So we're just going to catch y'all up on, you are not even here right now. This is just Abigail and I time. No, we're just going to talk about what we did over the weekend, kind of what we're up to. Yeah. And so by the next time, just so y'all know, our idea is to release one a week on Wednesdays right now. That might change. Who knows? But that's kind of our plan. So
stay tuned Wednesdays.
Yeah, stay tuned on with like, subscribe, share, comment, whatever you do, send it to your mom. But anyway, so what did you do this weekend? What did you and Kyle do?
Okay, so I don't know that everybody kind of understands how this works, and it's really exciting. So
okay,
when you get out of the military, you get to essentially use all the what we call leave. What people are probably familiar with is like PTO. And use it all at once, but still get paid.
Yes.
Okay, so I had over 2 months of PTO saved up. And so essentially I get to do whatever I want and
still get paid.
So it's lovely. So I'm living my best life.
Yeah.
I've redone the lawn. I've reorganized my house. I've taken some class. I'm doing whatever I want, which is really nice. But last weekend I don't get to do a lot with Kyle during the week usually.
Right.
So we got to go up to Oklahoma for him to get a certification for his business.
Oh, yeah. Tell everyone what he does, because it's so
niche.
So
right?
niche, and not what I would have seen Abigail.
At all.
Yeah, no.
I didn't even know what it was when we met. So
yeah,
husband,
you asked me, and you were like, that's a thing? And I was like, yes,
people do that for a living? Yeah, my husband's a farrier, so he shoes horses for a living, and I say shoe, not shoot, because a lot of people think that.
Oh.
Yep.
Definitely not
shoes.
Yep,
he
shoes.
Puts horseshoes on
he puts
horses.
Them dunks on them horses. Yeah. Put some Jordans on.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, if you're like me, I thought it was like ferry, like boats. I'm like, where is there water in Texas? No, he works with horses. So
yeah, and he's great.
He's great. Yeah, if you need a farrier.
Yeah.
Kyle Murphy, Steveville. Anyway, yeah. So we got to go up to Oklahoma for him to get a journeyman certification, which is a big deal.
It's like the highest
level, yeah. And so that was really cool because I don't get to see him do it a lot, and he loves it, and watching people do what they love is pretty cool. So.
And you had to hold the horse?
I actually got away with not doing that.
Oh.
I was very nervous because if you don't know me, okay, me and horses, if you've ever seen me on a horse in a picture, it's strictly for the photo.
Yeah.
And then I get off.
Terrified.
Okay? I'm terrified.
We need to tell your engagement story at some point.
Yeah.
Because that was great.
Yeah. Kyle coded, not Abby, okay? I'm a city girl, okay?
Yeah.
At heart.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so I got away with not holding the horse. I just got to observe and watch. So, yeah, that was pretty cool.
But that's awesome. Congrats, Kyle.
I know, right?
I know, because this was his second time.
Yeah, second time doing it.
Because it's hard. Like, it's really difficult. I have a cousin that does it, and he's been doing it for, 30 years. I went on trips with him when I was little, just to kind of help him. And that stuff's hard, man.
And let me just say, it's such a niche group of people you don't know exists until you go, and then you show up, and, there was, 60 people across the country, doing this certification, and I'm like, I didn't know you people existed.
How did you guys get here? A newsletter?
Yes.
What do you...
What,
Do you want to meet up?
Did you ride horses to get here? I'm so confused. Like, you know when you like walk past the shopping center and you see the people like I feel so like playing like Dungeons and Dragons, and you're like, how did all those people find each other? Okay, that's how I feel going to horseshoeing events, where I'm like, these people exist?
Yes.
Like, what?
Yeah.
So opposites attract, needless to say.
Wait, this is not on topic at all. It's just funny, like something I came across the Compete Everyday email, and it was this girl wearing the Compete Everyday shirt.
Yeah.
But she was doing like national stair running, and it's just like
That's
like a
thing.
competition.
Yeah.
Like that's, and I was just like, what it. There's so much out in this world.
Curling?
Like
curling? How does
curling.
one become an Olympic curler? You know what I mean?
I feel like we can do. That's our toxic trait. We just can do anything. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
Good for Kyle.
Yes.
There's people out there that are farriers that shoe horses, put
For a
dunks
living.
on. It's great. You can make a living doing
Yeah.
it. And he's great.
Yeah. What'd you do?
Moved. I was
Yeah.
like, what did I do? I was like, moved. I moved into an apartment again, became an apartment girly. Yeah, and that always ends up taking so much longer than you think it's going to take. Like I was like, I don't have a lot of stuff. And then you get everything compiled together and you're like,
I have a lot of
man,
stuff.
I got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, but I still don't have a couch.
Okay.
Still don't have a dining room table. Still don't have a
Food on the
TV.
floor.
Still don't have a TV stand. So my college person lives there.
Yep.
Because my parents have both my coffee table and my TV stand because
And
I
I
didn't need
sold
it.
your couch.
And you sold my couch. So it's like when I was living with Brooke for the year, I mean, she had all of that set up. And I was like, and we didn't need a TV stand. We had a fireplace. It was fine. Like, so then when you move, I'm like, oh, I need a bunch of crap.
I need a lot of stuff.
I need a lot.
That's like when we bought the house. I'm like,
yeah.
wow, you need a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. To
You were
own a
like,
house.
just
This
wait
is
till you
weird.
have to like
fill rooms.
I can't even fill my apartment right now. So I was like, okay, I gotta, and I'm on like Facebook Marketplace, dude. And it's like, that's the thing. It's like, I've looked on Amazon, I've looked on Wayfair, I've looked on all these different places, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna buy a couch. And I'm like, but that's like scary. You don't know, like, I'm sitting in this one, feels great, but I would not know that had I just like purchased, add to cart. So I like don't want to get.
Who else sat on that?
Here's the thing too. So Facebook Marketplace is where couches you didn't want go to die.
Correct.
Because it's like they ordered it off of Amazon or whatever. And they're like, oh, but I didn't like it. So now they're stuck for a month being like, will someone please buy my couch $500 less than what I did? I've only had it for a month, blah, 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 which is great for me, bad for them. But then I still get it. And then I'm stuck with it without knowing. Anyway, this is my dilemma. This is why I don't have a couch yet. But we're going to get one.
We have a lot of real problems happening right now.
Literally. Anyway.
But how do you feel about moving back to an apartment though?
I don't think I'm going to struggle to get my steps in.
Yeah.
Because I'm like walking down all the time to take Emma out.
You get like 5,000 steps just walking to your car.
Just walking to my truck. I get like 1,000 steps, like running down hallways. It's great. It's fine. Yeah. I remember Dale being like, feeling bad that people had to move to like Newcastle to work for him because it's a small town, like of like 500 people, you know. And he was like, but you know what? You got to live somewhere.
Yeah.
Like you got to live somewhere. So
we put so much like pressure on like I think it's Pinterest and like Instagram and we see all these things.
Perfection.
Like,
yeah.
You literally sleep.
Yeah. I'm like, I like
Who
my
cares?
home. It's fine. I like my things. I don't need a lot. And that's the other thing, like that's been a whole other topic for the last year and a half is like living in so much gratitude that like I have everything I already need. Mm-hmm. I don't need anything else. Like I have everything I already need. So like that's kind of why like
we can end the podcast there.
Yeah,
that's it.
Bye. I was sitting down on my living room floor and I had that little pink puff, you know, that's like a little ottoman puff, and I had my like plate on it, and I had my TV on like the
just perfectly happy.
And I was just like, and like the TV's on the floor, and I'm like, this is, you know what? I don't care. It's like,
you know, actually that makes me think. Going back to Kyle, you guys will get sick of hearing him, but when we met, do you remember when this man, he owned one fork, one knife.
Yeah.
His trash can was pinned to the
hanging,
wall.
Yeah.
Like it didn't need anything.
But that's boy.
He had to literally go buy a second towel so that I could shower at his house.
Again, you have everything you need. That's all you need. Anyway, that's what I did. we're still in the process of moving, just unpacking. I still have a bunch of boxes just hanging around, and I'll get there eventually. We'll get there. But today's topic is, if you've made it this far, today's topic, we are literally just going to tell you guys what we wish we would have done differently in our own fitness journeys, or what we maybe would have liked to have learned sooner, or really applied sooner, that could potentially, like, maybe you're starting your fitness journey and maybe you've also been in it for 10 years and you're like, oh man, I really resonate with that. I wish I would have learned that quicker. And so we're just going to share a little bit. I don't know Abigail's notes. I sent her mine yesterday, and then she texted me back, okay, I have mine. I was like, oh, I want to see.
Yeah.
Like,
what are they?
What are they? So we're just going to go back and forth. I'll start. No, you start, because I got to open my phone.
Well, the thing I wanted to add about that is that I think sometimes at least when I hear people like, oh, what would I have done differently in mine? I'm like, okay, I've already heard that before. Like, that's so simple, this and that. But then when you take inventory of like, okay, are you actually doing those things, or do you say you do it and you don't? So I guess my challenge for everybody listening is just take actual inventory of, I might say something, or you might say something that sounds so simple, of like, get your sunlight in the morning, and you're like, I'm so tired of hearing about that. That's such a buzz topic right now.
Cold plunge every day for 2 hours.
Right, and it sounds so simple, but it's like, no, but really think about, are you actually doing these things, or how could you do these really simple things better? Because those are the things that like propel you forward so much more. And I kind of think about how is it that we're constantly able to, like the world record mile runner, right? How is it that 30 years ago they were so much slower than they are now? Well, those people that are running now are learning from the individuals that went before them's mistakes. Like they're not just repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again. They're like taking the very simple things and getting better at them. And so that would be my challenge, because I think some of the things that we have to say, one, are very similar, but two, sound like there's nothing mind-blowing, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so I think it's just really listening and taking in an honest inventory of like, how are you actually performing in these areas?
Yeah, and some of these that we're going to talk about, we still apply right now because it's made it easier for us. Like, it's made our fitness journeys way more enjoyable and sustainable versus like what they were a long time ago, where it was maybe like more stressful than actually like, why am I doing this? Okay. You know, I'm doing this for the enjoyment of it, not because I hate myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So I should start?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's funny is I actually have like all my stuff written down, and on the way down here, I was like, how did I not write this one down? Like, this was my
start with it,
number
then.
one. Yeah. So I'm going to start there so I don't forget, actually.
Yeah.
But the first thing I would say is to really strategically, specifically define what your goal is and understand the level of commitment it takes to reach that specific goal. And I say that because it's really easy to be like, okay, I want to lose weight, or okay, I want to look like this person that I'm following on social media.
Which is probably fake, by the way.
Right. Yeah. Or your goal's performance, or maybe it's sustainability. Whatever it is, like, actually define it and think about, okay, how long, what type of commitment is it going to take for me to get there? Because I think I spent a lot of time having this massive goal and not realizing, okay, this is the level of commitment it takes to reach this, and I don't have that time right now. And like a very good example I can give is more recently, right? Last year, my coach and I had talked a lot about competing, like stepping on stage for bodybuilding, and it is a goal, and I will do it, right?
100%.
But it's very easy to say that because you watch so many people do it. Even like I watched you do it, I watched friends. But when you sit down and look at like, okay, this is how much time it's going to take me to do this specific goal, like realistically, and it's okay, I didn't have the time to be able to do that. I just didn't, with what was going on with my life, with having to get shoulder surgery, with work and recruiting and all of that. Like, that just wasn't a realistic goal. Like, that can still be a goal for some time down the future, but I had to look internally and been like, I just don't have the time or really the desire to put into what it's going to take to get there.
Absolutely.
And so I think that, like, especially when people reach out to us, really more you, because you work with a lot more women than I do, but people just don't have a realistic expectation. And, like, it's okay that, yes, you want to have this body composition goal, but, like, are you going to prep your food? Are you going to count your macros? Are you going to do that? And if you don't want to, that's okay. Make your goal right now just being consistent with this one thing. Or I just want to get strong. And that's your only focus, because that is more, you won't be disappointed with your results. But you have this massive goal of, like, I want to look a certain way, but I don't have 2 hours to spend in the gym.
Right.
You know, if you have this goal of looking a certain way, understand, like, the Instagram reels that you see of a 30-minute, you know, dumbbell only workout at home, it's not going to get you those results. And, like, I don't care what social media says or what the advertisement is, it's not going to get you there. And so, yeah, I would just say really define the goal and understand what it takes to get there. And if you don't have that time, that's okay. Redefine the goal for what's, you know,
well, it's important to meet
ability.
yourself where you're at.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to have that goal of, like, I tell my clients this all the time. Like, it's okay to have the goal that I want to lose 50 pounds and I want to look snatched and I want to look like this. And, you know, cool. We just have to really be realistic with, like, that whole thing. You have 24 hours in a day. Everyone's is different, though. So, like, you have to be really realistic with what the time you have and, like, the season that you're in. Just like everything you were saying, you can still have those goals, but just be really realistic with yourself. And, like, I think one of mine is kind of like that, but when you get there, like, when you really realize, like, okay, this is my goal, it's just the quicker you can have that realization that it's going to take a year, or it's going to take 2 years, or it's going to take blah, 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 the easier this all becomes.
Yeah.
The easier this all is to digest and be like, okay, I just literally have to take this a day at a time. Like, that's all I can do right now. And I tell clients this all the time. Your season's going to change where you can use the stovetop theory because I say it a lot.
You
but
love
like,
the stovetop.
it's just because, like, when you have your favorite burner and like you're cooking everything sizzling, whatever.
Top left.
Yeah, top. Yeah, top right for me. No. Yeah, top left now. I have new stovetop. So we've switched. Anyway, so you have something like sizzling. Fitness is your priority, right? And all of these are priorities that are sitting on your stovetop. Everything, family, career, all these things. It's okay to move your fitness to the back burner, right? That way it's still cooking, and that way it's like still warm and simmering. Yeah. What people do is they take their fitness when seasons change, take their fitness completely off the stovetop and let it get cold. Yeah. So it's like, if you can be really realistic with yourself of, like, it's okay if it sits on the back burner for a year, but as long as I'm, like, doing 1 to 2 things, 10K steps, I'm going to the gym twice a week, prioritizing protein at every meal, that's all I can do. Yeah. That's great. That's something. Yep. Like, so yeah, 100% I agree with what you said.
Awesome. What's your first one? I'm
going to be really fitness oriented at first, and then I'm probably going to trickle into more of, like, mindset and overall kind of thing, what we were talking about. Mine is prioritize rest and nutrition just as much, if not more, than actually working out. I think when you start working out, you are just so gung-ho on, like, I got to get to the gym 5 to 6 times a week. I got to bust my butt for that hour and a half, 2 hours. Like, you're just all in on the actual working out part. But if you were to break down how you actually like burn your calories, the workout itself is maybe 10 to 15% of your day, of your day's total calorie expenditure, right? So, you know, I would spend like countless hours in the gym 5 times a week and then turn around and eat like a pigeon or sleep for like 3 to 4 hours. This was like college, but like, you know, just I wasn't prioritizing nutrition and rest.
I spent 1 hour in the gym, I'm like, I'm crushing it.
Yeah. And that's just not true. Like, I think more, if you were just starting out, I would have really loved to have slept 8 hours to recover well. I just would have loved to slept 8 hours in college anyway. But like, had I prioritized whole foods, like really understanding, okay, this is just a small puzzle, like the actual working out is just a small puzzle piece to the bigger picture, but like nutrition and sleep, those things are like almost more important than what I'm doing in the gym.
Yeah.
And if you're not prioritizing those things, you're not going to see the results that you want as quickly as you could. Yep. Like, so that's my first one.
Yeah.
Super
And my,
fast.
I guess, second one, but very, very similar to that one. That's why I said a lot of our stuff will be similar, is prioritizing movement outside of the gym.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think like a lot of us work desk jobs or jobs that you're like not really moving a lot. And so you get off work and you go to the gym for an hour. And so you're like, oh, you know, I worked out for the day. I'm good type of thing. But you, in that hour, again, you're really probably only getting 1,000 steps maybe during the day. You know, you're really not burning as much as you think you are.
Right.
And so you're going, you know, to the gym for an hour, crushing all of your energy, going home, binge eating, all of this because you just burned all these calories, you just worked really hard, but you're not doing anything the rest of the day.
Yeah, very sedentary.
Yeah. And so if I could go back, and I even think, like, I think it was 2022 maybe when I started focusing more on, like, steps outside. Like, if the only time that you have, like, you either have the 1 hour in the gym or you have time to get steps, I would literally tell people, like, focus on the other movements. Because, like, your 10,000 steps or whatever you're starting at, 7,000 steps, whatever the case may be.
An arbitrary number.
An arbitrary number is going to be way more beneficial to you in the long run, whether it's longevity, whether it's body composition, all of that kind of stuff, than that 1 hour in the gym. Like, start with getting movement throughout the day. Start with, you know, a 5-minute walk every hour or a 30-minute walk at lunch or whatever the case may be.
Walking is so
underrated.
Like, we laughed, like, at the beginning when we started our little bodybuilding journeys. How's your little bodybuilding journey going? I would just be like, I got to get 10K steps, but I had no idea. I didn't have this fitness watch. I had a Whoop, and, like, I was very anti-steps at that time. Like, I was just like...
Just kind of a buzzword at the time.
Yeah, and I was just like... And 10K is really an arbitrary number. Like, if you're sitting at 5K a day, like, you... Just assuming that you are, shoot for 7. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, but walking is so underrated because it would just, like... It's now my time in the morning to check in with myself and go, okay, what are my intentions for the day? Like, I'm, of course, walking Emma too, like, but I'm spending the 20 minutes in the morning going, like, just kind of sometimes, like, no phone, no music, which is a big deal for me. If you know me, like, it's 24 hours a day. But, like, it's just a way for you to really connect in with yourself. Sometimes I'll do prayer walks where I don't have anything, but I'm just talking to God the whole time. And, like, just... that other movement is so underrated because, like, it will really shoot your caloric burn, like, much further than you think.
And people way overestimate the number of steps that they get. So, like, when I first started paying attention to, like, how much I was moving, I got my watch or whatever because I didn't have a way of tracking how much I was getting. And I was like, this isn't going to be that hard. Like, I already move a lot. I'm not kidding. I was shocked. Like, I could go... all day, get in bed at night, and I would have like 2,000 steps for the day.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, you go into those, calculate how many macros I should be having or whatever the case may be. And so you put like very active because you work out for an hour a day or something like that. And it's like, no, you are really not active.
Again, that's only like 10% of your day.
And so you see that and you're like, how the heck am I supposed to plan in, you know, 9,000 more steps? Like, that's a lot. And you just start to make these small adjustments. Again, like 5-minute walk around. Like, when I was working a desk job and recruiting, I would literally just go every hour on the hour, walk around the building.
Yeah.
I would just park a little bit further. I would just, like, you get so many more steps, like, in the easiest ways if you just, like, get creative with it to start increasing. Like, you don't have to go for, like, hour-long walks.
Ellie will send us, because she's in prep right now, she'll send us videos of her at work, at lunch or something like that, and she's just making laps in her little office, like, just, like, doing this, you know, and I'm like, yes, you have to. Like,
and in the beginning, you do have to be intentional about it. Like, if you're going from 2,000 to 10, like, you gotta figure out how to do it. But then it becomes so easy.
Yeah, it's just helpful. Anyway, so my next one is kind of on the same, but it's like more on back to the lifting side of things. You know, for a while it was like, okay, do random workouts, you know, just like cherry pick your workouts and like do high intensity this and then go do movement is movement. It's great. Like,
But start somewhere.
Yeah. But random workouts will absolutely get you random results. Like if you're looking and you're showing me this girl on Instagram or you're showing me whatever and you're like, I want to have those glutes, I want to have those hamstrings, I want to have those abs, blah, 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 blah. Like you have to follow a lifting program that has progressive overload. You have to do something repetitive versus like continuously doing this like high intensity hit stuff all the time. Like the Orange Theory classes or the whatever, they're fine for what they are. I'm not like gonna sit here and demonize every like workout thing that there is right now, like F45. But movement is movement. I would rather you do something than nothing. But like if you want to really focus on something and improve your toned muscle, right? Like everyone's like, I want to be toned. You're gonna have to like lift and follow a program specifically for a long period of time. Boring is hot too, okay? Like
I literally my second point is literally boring is sexy. That's
boring
so
is
funny.
sexy too. Like it's I know it's not like this like, well, everyone's doing high rocks right now and everyone's doing F45 and everyone's that's cool. Do that. Shoot for a goal, but like follow a program and just see how it is for 6 to 8 weeks. That's little plug. Beefy Babes Club. Like we do cycles, sometimes 10 weeks at a time, because like really and truly, you're going to see really great results by just doing the boring shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like just do the boring stuff every once in a while and like learn to build commitment within yourself, learn to build consistency. And then I put down to like, I'm not saying that some level cardio isn't great, as you should. It's extremely important for your health. But just know that your body changes based on the boring stuff. Obviously, like everyone has their own goals too. Like if you are training for high rocks, you are training for a marathon, like your strength training program is going to look different. I'm just saying like for very, very generalized fitness and
I think
goals.
that's what's important about going back to the step one of define what your specific goal is. In this case, when we're talking the boring plan, the cardio, this and that, we are talking really more about like those aesthetic goals,
right?
Like
yeah,
the high
what
rocks,
people come to me
those
the
things.
most for.
Yeah, those are training for a specific event. Those are performance-based training, and that's great. And that has been my goal at times. But those aesthetic goals are only way they're going to be successful is the boring. Like be so obsessed with being as boring as possible. And what's crazy too is like the more boring you are for, you know, your training or your morning routine or your wind down routine or whatever, you'll start to realize like it actually does free up a lot of your time to then be not boring, to like
discipline is freedom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be Gandhi every once in a while.
Yeah, everyone's there we go.
It's my toxic positivity. Yeah. Discipline is freedom.
Okay, let's pull out your notes of all your motivational quotes. Yeah, and I'll just kind of piggyback since those are the next two really that I had as well of, follow boring. Do squats every Monday for 10 weeks. Yeah. Do deadlifts every Tuesday for 10 weeks.
Watch that ass grow.
Yeah, like that is what is going to get you the results. And I think oftentimes, and again, like I've trained a lot fewer individuals than you, but everybody is the same. Like my group of small people that I've helped versus like your thousands or whatever, the problem is always the same, right? People get bored and they want to constantly switch it up. They're always asking for a new program or a new this or whatever. And it's like, you haven't given yourself enough time to adapt to that specific program. Like you have to do it for more than 2 weeks. So just stick with boring. And then the cardio piece that I was going to add to that, and this is more of, I guess it doesn't necessarily apply to everybody, but for me specifically, since we're talking about my fitness journey, right? Do cardio for longevity, lift for body recomp, right? Because killing yourself on the treadmill or the Stairmaster or whatever, while you may drop weight and like quote unquote get skinnier, get leaner, whatever the case may be, it will never give you the actual physical appearance that you want. And it makes it miserable. Like you talk to so many people and they're like, I hate cardio. I hate cardio. I hate cardio. Whereas if you're just doing the type of cardio that you love and enjoy and you're doing it for no other reason other than like longevity and because it's good for your heart and like all of these things, it makes it so much more pleasant. And yeah, you are going to burn a few calories and things like that, but that is not cardio. I just feel like should not be tied to your weight loss or whatever the case may be, because it's not going to give you what you want. And so when you take that kind of a mindset out of it, of like, I ate all this chocolate, I need to go on the Stairmaster for, 30 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
And instead you're like, I'm going to go for a run because I like actually really enjoy running for 30 minutes. There's no pressure to it. You just get to enjoy it, and it's good for your heart. It's good for longevity. It's all of this kind of, and yeah, it might help with a little bit of your goals, but lifting, boring for a recomp, right? And cardio for longevity and enjoyment. So those were my two.
My next one is, when it comes to discipline, focus on consistency and not perfection.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, you're learning what works for you, and it takes time to develop those habits. I put, while we have goals to hit and they're a priority, you'll need sustainable results if you can learn to be consistent in your efforts.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of my favorite quotes too.
Oh, God.
Dang it.
I was kidding.
Y'all hate to see me coming with these. Okay. In theory, consistency is about being disciplined, determined, and unwavering. But in practice, consistency is about being adaptable. Don't have much time, scale it down. Don't have much energy, do the easy version. Find different ways to show up depending on the circumstances, and let your habits change shape to meet the demands of the day. Adaptability is the way of consistency.
Okay, mic drop.
I'm going to crack my knuckles here for a
second.
second.
And on that note, we are going to end up... I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm going to crack my knuckles here for a second, because, like, this is the biggest thing that I see starting out in my fitness journey, was just, like, everything has to be perfect.
Yeah.
Everything has to be... That, like, we made the joke last week about, like, one of my, like... I have to do my program in order. I will wait. Like, it is my, like, biggest pet peeve if I can't do everything in order the way it's supposed to, the way it's set up, because in my brain, it's scientific as to why it's set up that way. So I'm going to get the best results. Like, but it's about being adaptable. That's how you're going to see things change for yourself in the long run. A lot of my clients come to me and they are like, I tried to do, I'm going to use an example of a girl that I talked to yesterday, just like an onboarding call. She's not my client yet. She will be. But she was like, I get in the gym for 2 weeks, and it's like at 4 a.m. because she has a kid. She has things she has got to do. And then I just fell off because it's just like I was so tired. And then like I tried carnivore for 2 weeks, and like I saw results. I felt okay. But like, I was like, because it's not sustainable, and because you don't know how to adapt to
we'll talk about that next.
Yeah, to your current situation. Like, when it comes to consistency, it's meeting yourself, again, like what we talked about, where you're at currently, but then being adaptable on top of it, right? Like, if I'm going out of town this weekend, right, and I want to hit my macros, I have to plan ahead and like, okay, I'm going to take this with me. I'm going to do this with, like, okay, here's where I'm going to work out, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, you kind of have to be adaptable. Not going to have time to work out this weekend? Make sure that you get all your workouts in the week. Front load. It doesn't matter. It's just about being adaptable and not perfect, because I do have a lot of clients come to me at the end. They're like, well, I tried to do this, but this happened at work or whatever. I'm like, cool. Could you have finished your steps in the evening?
Yeah, it's like, because you can't hit everything perfectly, you all of a sudden can't hit like anything.
Oh my gosh. I used that example once on my Instagram on like a talking head reel or something that was like, okay, I'm doing my nails, by the way.
Oh yeah, those are...
It looks so good. Doing my nails and I'm painting. What if I just like outside the lines, right? Like, and just like dropped it all over my thumb, like, oh, dang it. Let me take this whole bottle and just chunk it all over my hand. Like, people miss one day. They don't hit their macros one day, and then they go, okay, well, it's Friday. I'm just going to start over again on Monday.
Yeah.
Dude, just start.
Why?
Just start
over now.
Right now. Like, you had pizza with your family and it was great. And like, you went on a date with your boyfriend. Cool. When you wake up in the morning, go to the gym like you normally would on a Saturday morning. So that's like our next episode, is all or nothing mindset, and just kind of battling those things. But I just want to talk about like learning to be adaptable. I wish I would have done that in college. I wish I would have done that at the beginning, is like all of that perfection for nothing, when really consistency and discipline just matter about how adaptable you can become.
Yep.
And then you'll see like it doesn't really matter the season that you're in. Like, you just know, like, you realize how to put that as a priority and become consistent. Anyway.
Yeah, and that kind of goes into, not my next one, but I'm going to skip ahead. Mine would be setting a floor, not just a ceiling. And I think it might have been you, because I didn't come up with the floor and ceiling analogy. I saw it somewhere, but absolutely, like, rocked my world. A lot of times when we start, and this was me, we have this ceiling of like, okay, I got to hit my steps. I got to hit my macros. I got to hit my workout. I have to sleep 8 hours. And it's so overwhelming. And I have to have this morning routine. Those are a huge thing right now. Like 20-step morning routine, 10-step wind
starting
down.
At 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Dunk my face in ice, like all those videos, right? And that's great, right? Like on a perfect day, and I'll be honest, the whole not working thing right now.
By the way, this was me because I say this a lot to my clients too. Okay, continue.
Oh, very good. It's great to have a ceiling because like on those days that you can, like that's awesome. Do all of those things. Have your 10-step morning routine. Do your get all of that stuff in. That's awesome. But like also set a floor, because when you have a floor that is like super simple, to give you an example, instead of, I like to wake up, I like to drink my coffee, I like to read my Bible for 30 minutes, then I like to go on a 30-minute walk, come back, get ready for the day, eat some breakfast, go to the gym. Like that's like my perfect morning, right? But we don't always have 3 hours in the morning, especially if you're a mom or working or all of this kind of stuff. So what's the floor? If you have 5 minutes in the morning, okay, for those 5 minutes, I'm going to wake up and brew my coffee. As I'm brewing my coffee, I'm going to, pray or, say one thing that I'm grateful for. Then I'm going to, do yoga for 2 minutes. I'm going to do a pigeon stretch, 1 minute each side. And then I'm going to shower and get my kids up. Like, what is your floor? And the reason why is because if you have a floor, you still can check mark that day as a success, and it propels you forward and avoids, avoids the I'll start over on Monday. Because when you have the floor, it's like, okay, I had the 5 minutes. I still counted that day as success, and like I don't have to restart tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
this is why this is not on my thing, but this is why I have people do daily non-negotiables. Yeah. Because if you hit 3 to 5 of your daily non-negotiables, then you can still count the day as a success towards like, and your non-negotiables, your floor, for example, they want to be like, you have this future version of you, the woman that wants to lose 50 pounds, but she has kids and she has a 9 to 5. Your goals should be something that if you did every day will get you closer to the future version that you want to become.
And your floor / your non-negotiables should be something that literally, it doesn't matter how busy you are, you could do it that day. It doesn't matter where you at, like all that stuff.
They're non-negotiable. Imagine that. That's crazy.
That's why like literally my floor is 5 minutes, because it doesn't. I don't care. I do not care how busy you are. You have 5 minutes.
Yeah, get off your phone.
Get off your phone. You got 5 minutes. Yeah. So.
No, I love that because, you're crediting me, but at the same, I got it from some TikTok. Like this guy was explaining it so much better than we were. I think I sent it to you, but I was just like, oh my gosh, this is like, this is mind blowing.
It really was.
This is wild, but it's so true of just kind of like, that's your, we need to feel successable. Like we do need to feel successful, or it's just kind of like, what is this for?
Yeah.
I'm going to save that one, I think, for the next episode, one of them. Okay. This is a really, really hot topic for me, and a very topic probably very close to my heart, of maybe like the biggest thing that I would have done differently.
Okay.
And, but.
Bullshit, I guess.
Yeah.
Slow down.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Learn the line of discipline versus disordered a lot sooner. Like,
dang, I should have guessed that one.
I used to push to extremes. Me have high expectations for myself at all times and have to do everything perfectly. And like, obviously there was a time in my life where we talked about last time where I didn't know it then. You could have not told me that I had one, like that I had some form of an eating disorder. Yeah. Like, because I was like, well, I don't starve myself. I don't, you think, by the way, trigger warning, if you want to skip, like, please, by all means, skip for like maybe 10 minutes. If this is just not something that you're at or where you would like to discuss. But you could not have told me that I had one because I was like, I eat, I don't, but there would be times where I would finish a meal that was off plan and go to the bathroom.
Yep.
And there were times when, and this was post college, I was old enough to know what I was doing. Like, you're 23, 24 years old. I was highly anxious, highly just like, there were so many other things outside of my control in my life at the time that this was just something I could control. Like, this was something I had control over. And I would not eat off of a macro. Like, I would like not go 1 gram over or 1 gram under. Like, it so perfect. And like, and
you justify it too.
Yeah.
Like, with, I'm just really disciplined.
Yes, exactly.
Like, you do.
So it's learning, like, okay, am I disciplined, or is this becoming something that I really need to take a look at for myself? And so I kind of wrote down some notes. Like, for me, the line was that mainly the motivation itself. Is it an act of self-love, or is it an act of self-hatred? Like, for me, if it was self-love, then I'm doing what I do now. And like, I didn't work out yesterday. I was supposed to work out, but I was like, I had a really bad period day on Wednesday, like worse than usual. So I'm going to give my body the rest that it needs because I know that's more important than pushing it hard in the gym. It's about self-love, and it's less about the self-hatred and punishment because of essentially that's what I was doing, was punishing myself for going outside of what I thought I should be doing. And then you take a look at, is it driven by the need to feel worthy and validation, or is it driven out of boundaries and self-respect?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times that I did was just like, I needed to feel validated. I needed to feel skinny. I needed to feel like my worth came from that. And obviously that is not where my worth comes from. My worth comes from what God says over me, and like, my body is his, and so like, I'm supposed to be a good steward of it and take care of it. Well, what does that mean? It means respecting yourself and knowing that like, that's not respectful. What's respectful is moving your body, is being disciplined in your fitness, is doing these things, because it's also just as disrespectful to be lazy, right? Like, and so really recognizing that like, this is out of self-respect. And
I think it's important to say too that like, you can want to change your appearance or become more disciplined or whatever. It's all about the way you think about it. Just like you were saying, like, if it's coming from a place of vanity, like, you're only going to be successful for so long.
What
if it's coming
serving?
out of what are you serving? If it's coming out of a place of like, again, we were given this like awesome body that we are called to serve God with.
Right.
Like, how do I best do that?
Yeah.
That is like, even if you're not overweight, it's like, okay, this is not honoring. Like, this, how I'm doing this is not. I need to steward this body well, and like, this is why I'm called to do it. And on top of that, like, I would feel better if X, Y, and Z, and that's okay. But like, where does the motivation come from?
Right.
Is super important.
I look at like, I kind of put little bullet points as to like, maybe someone can do some like reflection for themselves and just kind of start there as to like, ooh, am I just being really am I really disciplined, or am I like really, for a long amount of time, has it become something that is not, that's surpassed discipline at this point? Because these were just like my takes on it. When you start saying no to a lot of fun life experiences.
Yes.
When you lose your period, like when your hormones, when you're not sleeping good at night, when you're oversleeping, undersleeping, like overcook, undercook, straight to jail. Sorry. When it removes all spontaneity out of your life.
Yeah.
Everything that doesn't align with your diet routine becomes an immediate no. Like,
let me go back to the one point you said just before that, because I think you're going to hear us talk a lot about discipline, because it's super important to be disciplined. But the being disciplined is so that you have all this time to not be disciplined, to be spontaneous, to do all of these things. Like, you're disciplined in these areas so that you can go on a random trip with a friend, volunteer. Like, it gives you the freedom to then go do those things.
Right.
So, yeah.
And then when you start dreading your friends' families' birthdays because it means food you can't have, And basically it was just like I liked to keep an eye on the difference between being able to say no to things and being unable to say yes.
Yeah.
So because at this time in my life, like I was looking at like bikini competitor pictures and like comparing myself to that, and I was training for a wedding, essentially, like quote unquote. That's like in my mind what I was like, oh, I just want to fit in my wedding dress. Like, no, like that was not because of that. You weighed 120 something pounds soaking wet. Like it was not, please leave. Because it, like I was looking at them and going, okay, well, this is what they do in prep. Mind you, like I was
for an extreme competition.
Which,
again, go back to defining
your goals. But like I look back now and I was a little tiny bit nervous. It's been 10 years since I was maybe at that point in my life. And it came with like a lot of shame and a lot of like body shame and a lot of like, it was just not a great time in my life. But I look back now when I decided to do bodybuilding, this journey, I was like, man, I hope she doesn't sneak back in. Like that monster just kind of sits back here at the edge of the seat, you know, and we've done some really great therapy, some great tricks, some like things that I know how to cope with. And if anything starts to arise, and it's been so long now that I'm like, I know that I'm healed from it. I'm fine. But like when you do get to put yourself kind of back in those shoes, you're like, man, I wonder if she's going to come back up.
Yeah.
And she never did. I think she was like right there kind of on reverse, because reverse is really hard.
Yeah.
But I was really proud of myself because I showed almost to myself. That's a whole other topic of why I chose to do bodybuilding from someone that is very performance based. But like, I was like so proud because it just meant that I had conquered that.
Yeah.
And I meant that like I could have that unrealistic level of discipline and she still not creep back up because I'd healed.
That was really cool to watch.
I'd healed those parts of like my shame and my like the part that I needed that control over, and like where my worth came from and where like I felt where I felt worthiness come from. So that's the biggest one for me. I know Abigail's got one more to share.
Yeah, I'm gonna do one more and then I think we should wrap up. I could go on,
but please.
Same. Yeah, so kind of my last one that I'll talk about today is I think we overestimate the power of these I don't know the word for it, but these cold plunging and buying new shoes and listening to this
biohacking,
all of those things. Like we overestimate the impact that those have, and we really underestimate what simplicity brings to this journey, in the sense that like and kind of how I wrote it down was like, stop talking about it, be about it. Like we're in this like this kind of like toxic, like forever learner type of society where it's like, okay, I'm going to keep listening to like all these podcasts. I'm going to hire a coach. When that coach doesn't work, I'm going to hire the next coach, and then I'm going to hire the next coach, and then I'm going to get all this new gym equipment, and I'm going to go get a cold plunging membership, and I'm going to buy my red light therapy, and I'm going to buy all these things and listen to all this stuff. And it's like, okay, if you just stopped, number one, you'd save a lot of money.
Right.
And number two, you literally, again, just took inventory of like, how well are you doing the simple things? Like, I wish I could talk to like every single person that hires a coach and said, the prerequisite to hiring this individual is you have to, for 1 week, don't even have numbers, just track your food.
Yes.
That's it. Just track it. Doesn't matter what it is, just track. The prerequisite is going to bed at the same time. It's not even like getting a certain number of hours of sleep. Just go to bed at the same time.
Right.
And there's like these little prerequisites because we underestimate like how much power those things have. And I think we like lie to ourselves a lot about like how good we do that, because I talk to people all the time of like how impactful, and we'll get to this, like what drinking 1 gallon of water was for me. Like that was like my rabbit, or what's the word? The habit that triggered everything else.
Oh, right.
What is that word?
I don't know.
Okay. You know, the snowball okay. Effects. The snowball effect.
The rabbit, though.
Yeah.
I like the rabbit better.
That one thing, and people are like, I drink a lot of water. And like I hear it and I don't want to like doubt you or say that like I don't believe you, but it's like just don't. I think you try really hard. I can't sleep at night, or I can't go to bed, and I'm like, you have a TV in your bedroom. Like, turn it off.
Right.
You know, like, and we just don't like to be real with ourselves about the very simple things, because it's very flashy to do all of these cool things, and they do have astronomical benefits.
Sure.
So don't get me wrong. Like, if you know me, you know I'm crunchy. I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
But do the very simple, very free, very rewarding things.
Right.
Be successful at those things, and then start adding the other things, and like, your results are gonna be so much
I like
better.
to think of it as a pyramid of like hierarchy of your needs.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's kind of how I present it to some of my girls, is like, okay, like you have this triangle, right? Like the food pyramid that we were taught in school, but like the baseline should be just understanding the basics of your like training, the basics of your nutrition, like, and then a step above that is like, okay, do you know what macros are, like nutrient timing? Do you understand the different programming that we're doing? Then to get to the next level, it's like, because I want to get them
but
to a place,
people want to start at the
but
top,
they want to stop at the
that's what's
top
flashy.
because it's pretty, it's fun. It's like, I want to do carnivore, I want to, you know, cold plunge for this, and I want to wake up at 3:30 in the morning, and like, you know, it's, no one wants to do that, but like, yeah. I want to get my clients to a place where they don't need me anymore, where they've built this trust and like knowingness in themselves of all of the really basics, so that they can do the ultimate self-reflection without me and go, ooh, okay, I'm not really getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I'm only getting 5. Let me just make that small adjustment. Let me just like tune all these little dials first before I start going, I'm not losing weight. You know what? I'm going to be vegetarian, because extremes are easy, but balance takes effort. And that's what people don't want to do, is they don't want to put in the actual effort to change these minuscule things that you're talking about, but they're so impactful versus like dunking your head for, I don't cold plunge.
Yeah, exactly.
Sissy. I don't like it. But anyway.
Yeah. So I think we'll kind of wrap up there. Mm-hmm. I kind of have a challenge for people.
Okay.
Again, because like that was a lot of things. We kind of went back and forth. There's this is us talking about like 2 decades of literally mistakes and things that we can go back, right? Like lots of things. So I would say, if you're listening and you want to take the challenge, like pick the one thing. And I would even challenge you further of the one that triggered you.
Yeah.
The one where you were like,
nah, that's not for me.
That.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like that's not going to actually impact me that much. Like, pick that one, or don't. Pick the one that you want and focus on just that. Like, just that for a month.
Yeah.
Do just that. And like, if you have a program you're following, do all of that. Don't change anything. Just focus on that one thing, and like, check back in. Comment on one of our posts. Yeah. Let us know, because it's crazy. Like, if I could just go back and like, I just think about the 1 gallon of water. Like, imagine had I started that habit 10 years ago, how much further I would be now. 100%. And like, I just want other people to like have to skip all of that. Like, why repeat the same mistakes over and over?
Literally, this episode is like, please learn from the things that we did not know or fell victim to at the very beginning of our stuff. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for joining us. Like, share, subscribe, tell your mom. And thanks. See you later.
Yes. Bye.